morning, good afternoon, good evening. We are at the State Champ, Florida State Champ 2024. But before we get into the race, I just want to talk about our sponsors. Uh, I want to personally thank our sponsors for making all these trips happening. We have really nice people, guys. We have Team Waldo that it was created on Naples, Florida. Um, it was a vision from our pioneer and main sponsor, which is you're gonna see it on. He's the guy that allows to use the van for the trips and a lot of more things, and without asking nothing in return. We also have super nice and good friends sponsors like Lidman's family. We have Naples Velo. We want to thank you every single one of them, because without this group of people, the people that are behind the scene, these trips were gonna be almost impossible. So saying that, I just wanna share that feeling that we all have and that we all talk about in the races, but it stay in between us instead of just going out loud. And we want to say really big thank you to our sponsors for the 2024, and we'll see how 2025 would be for the team and the group of friends that we all are. And without further ado, let's start talking about the race, because in a few seconds you're gonna see the 50 plus and 40 plus coming out of that door with a smile, because we're racing. This is the first race of the 2 days, and this race is age group. So there is a combination of us here on this race today that are racing together but qualifying differently. So that's pretty awesome. Also, I want to congratulate Dennis on his podium and third place. After all his effort and dedication, he was able to secure that on his Cat 3. And also want to congratulate Miss Ilette. She is from Lehigh. She has been trying to get this podium for the past 7 years, guys, and she finally made it. She doesn't race in like often, but she train and race for this race, and she finally become the state champ on her age. So congratulations, Elate. We're super happy about you, and I know for a fact that this is not gonna be your last jersey. This is your first jersey of many. So congratulations again for every single person that make this happen, and the athletes that put all the suffering hours to make this happen. So without further ado, let's do the team walk of fame. Let's look at these guys. Here they come.
Oh, yeah.
Here they come, the Warriors, the 50 Warriors.
Oh, yeah.
So after watching the guys walking the red carpet, we're gonna start getting ready to go and watching the race. Today's race is gonna be the age group. So everyone here is pretty much in a different age category. So we're gonna, some of us are racing together, but we're gonna qualify differently. So we are starting to get ready when I realize that I don't have my bottle of water. So bummer, I have to go and get them. So here we go. Let's go and get those waters. The day started really cold, and then it's starting to warm up to the point that it was summer again in Florida. So at this point we were on the 70 something like that, but the day ending in 80, on the 80s, close to 90 degree. So I got 2 bottled waters, both with carbs, and I'm gonna go back to the truck and I start driving to the race. At this time the ladies are already racing. Then we're gonna have Master 50s, Master 30s, 40s. So we all getting set up and we all getting ready. So this is the last road race of the year, guys. I don't know for you, but for us it was supposed to happen 2 weeks ago and the hurricane didn't allow it, so they moved it to November. But at this time we always kind of like doing preparations for the next year. So here we go, we're arriving to the place and we see that the girls already start. There was a break of one girl at the front. Then we got the group coming. They race pretty hard. Pretty good field too. So this is like 1 mile from the finish. We haven't made it yet to registration, but we'll be soon. And this is the ladies field passing by. You get it in some low motion here, just for you to recognize any of the girls here. I already know who was the one in the break, but they were flying by. If I don't put in slow motion, you're not gonna be able to see anyone. But here we go. This is the train right here. City bike train. 4 ladies at the front, 2 more in the back. The rest of the group. Here's Silet. This is the first lap, guys. They have like this is like a mile in on the race. First mile inside the race. Now we need to keep going so we can get our numbers and everything. So while the guys are getting the numbers, I'm here with Dennis and they're coming for the second lap. The lap was like around 7 to 8 miles. So this is the second lap right here. Compact field. Pretty awesome. The wind was okay. It was not that bad at that point. This is around 8:30 in the morning. City White.
This is our women's field.
Vienen dos atrás de ti.
So we see 2 laps to go, 2 to go, 2 to go, 2 laps to go. Sandy at the front, Ocala Roberts, Kate Stratton. 2 laps to go, 2 to go, 2 to go, 2 to go. That's a good looking field, 2 laps to go. 1 to go to our women's field. 1 to go, 1 to go.
So you can see now that 1 to go for the ladies, and look how the field is right now. The field is exploded. It's all over the place. And this is the last lap. Next time when we're going to see them pass by is going to be the sprint. And they are all over the place. And this is not the main field. The main field is still to come. This is a breakaway trying to form, but they kind of like attacking the breakaway. So if you have been following the races, you can probably see the same faces in pretty much every race, and these girls are very strong. So this is the main field coming right here after that break. And remember, today's the age group, so it could be ladies here that they don't have to do the work as they're supposed to, as they do in a regular race, because they're racing their age. So it could be like really strong girls here in the back that they just waiting to their turn, because they don't have to compete with the ones that are at the front already, and they know that. That's how our friend Ilet was able to secure her jersey. She was competing on her age group, and she was able to take that jersey, even though that she was not the first one crossing the line, but she was the first one on her age. And that's what is good about this age group state championship, because you have the opportunity to race on your age and your category. So because sometimes categories are really demanding, especially with the difference of age. So this is the main group, and I was talking and I didn't realize, but now we're going for the sprint. I was gonna time it to see how far they were, but now we're going. This is a sprint for the ladies, and here we go. Got it on a slow motion. Look at these guys. National champ Showdown, then city bike, then two more girls, then we got Kingdom celebrating, then two more girls, then the rest of the group. That means that whatever happened at the front in that last lap, they were kind of like looking at each other, playing games or something, and the group was able to catch up. Because if you're looking at the last video, they have a big difference from the group, and this is the group right here. Is right on the tail. This is it. This is the main group that was like 10 seconds behind them. And this is it for the age group for the girls. Congratulations to everyone. Now we're gonna go to the boys, see what they did. Here the juniors race pretty strong too. We got one junior that went at the front, and he kind of like stayed at the front for the whole race. It's this junior coming over here. He was pretty consistent at the front. And here's the group. Here's the chasers. This is a break that get to the juniors, and from that break is the winner on the juniors category. And then we have the 50 plus. This is the main group. They were going to the last lap on this one. We got Wilders Racing on this race. This is the 50 plus right here. 50 plus guys were one of the biggest fields on the first day on the age group. It was one of the biggest fields that we got. Look at this. This is just as 50s. Look at this field, guys. So if you're thinking in racing next year on the 50 plus, look at that field. And then we have the 40 plus. I mean the Cap 4 on Sunday was the biggest field with 66 people. And when you put 66 riders on a route like this, where you cannot pass a yellow line and stuff like that, it gets a little sketchy. So you have to be either taking risk, or you have to be at the front all the time, or you are in risk.
Two main rules. Yellow line rules in effect the entire race until the last time down this hill. Other than that, you must stay to the right side of the yellow line at all
Team
times.
just say it. Yellow rule. Yellow line is the main rule. And that yellow line applies all the way to the last lap, the last kilometer. On the last kilometer, or a little under the last kilometer, that's when you can go. But if you're doing like right now, I'm just outside because people are just trying to get together. But as soon as we start like racing pace, you need to go inside that yellow line. If you're not in that yellow line, you're gonna get pulled all the way to the back. And if you do it more than one time, you can get DQ. So you better know that, because there is a lot of riders that I see that they kind of go to the front and they don't realize that there is a motorcycle with a judge in the back, that it would bring you to the back, and if you don't listen, it would disqualify you. You will keep racing, but if you make podium, that's when you're gonna feel it, because they're not gonna let you go to the podium. So this is the beginning of this race. I only have a couple of chats of the race. I don't have the entire race. It was difficult for me to move on this race to the front, because the pace was really intense. It was really high, and it takes a lot to go to the front, especially when there is no room. You can see it here. You have to find your way up, otherwise you get stuck. And this rolling hill race is not flat, nothing compared to North, but this is not flat either. And it has a technical downhill at the end where people were going really crazy. We're taking a speeds up to 40 miles an hour, and people were just taking that corner a little sketchy too. But first lap, first mile. This was a good race, guys. Good race. I got 8th on my category, even though that I was not content for the sprint at the end, and you're gonna see why. I was gonna try last year when I came to this race, it was a crash in the last lap going up the last hill, and everyone that was at the front, including me, we got stuck in that crash. So this year I was trying another approach. Didn't work. So I guess that the best way to go on this one is try to force a breakaway. So I'm playing here. I'm going in the yellow line, trying to be as safe as I can. The inside part of this road is pretty rough, so a lot of people, and you're not able to see it because there's so many people in front of you that you're not able to see the road. So I'm in the yellow line. I have two choices here. I can move forward if I need to, with careful, because if I jump outside the yellow line, I'm in trouble. Or I can just sit here and relax for a little bit, and hopefully that there's no breakaway or nothing on the front that creates a problem, which it didn't happen in this race. There was a couple of tries, but at the end there was no breakaways. Everyone was pulled back, and it was a massive sprint. So I'm here at the yellow line, guys, and one of the reasons why I'm here in this position right now is because if you look at the right side, whoever is in the center or on the right side, if it's a crash, if you are in the right, you're gonna have to go to that grass for sure. If you are in the center, you're pretty much stuck. It's gonna be almost impossible for you to avoid it. But if you are in this side of the line right here, and I'm gonna explain why I'm taking the left here, and that's the only place that you are allowed on a road race to take at the outside of that yellow line is when you're gonna take a turn. If that turn goes on your right, you are allowed to open wide, especially with the speed that you come in by. Other than that, you have to be inside. So if I'm in close to that yellow line and there is a crash at the front, I have the entire left lane pretty much empty for me to go around, and I still have road before getting to the grass. That's why I'm trying to stay close to the yellow in the limit so I don't get any penalty from the judge, but at the same time that is kind of like the safest spot. But look at the race, look how many people we have. So we're taking a corner, it's okay to bump out a little bit and then come back, that's allowed. Other than that, and it's based on the speed, if you don't bump out on this, you're not going to be able to turn. So for safety reasons, you are able to do that in that corner. Here I'm inside the yellow line, so, and it's still safe enough that if something happens, I have all that, even though that people can jump to the left, I'm going to have on my left side. So I always try to find my way out of the crash. So every time that I'm racing, I'm thinking what would be my best and easy way if something happens, because no one wants to be involved in a crash. And it is true, the more risks that you take, the better chance you have to win. But you have to know what is how important is a winning for you compared to the experience that you live in and everything else. I'd rather live the experience, enjoy it, and come back than put myself in a situation that could be dangerous for me or for somebody else on the race. So keep doing my best. So here we go, we're getting close to the end. This is like a downhill, then we got a uphill and then a downhill to the end. This is pretty tricky because you're coming up out of downhill. The people at the front have the wind resistance, so whenever this downhill finish, they start slowing down. But the people at the back, if they're not paying attention enough, they're gonna brake harder than the people at the front won't brake. But if you are like halfway back, you're gonna start braking, and then after you brake, you're gonna have to go back and start getting to the position and to the speed that the front group is already doing. So that's one of the key moments, one of the hardest part, because you're braking while the guys at the front are already accelerating, and then when you finish braking, you have to accelerate to keep on it. So right now we're putting 500, 600 watts just to keep with the group. You can see everyone is like just pure cadence. Maybe a couple of people just standing up, but most of them is pure cadence, and they just want to finish the hill so they know they're coming to the downhill on the end. So I was bumped out a little bit here, but since I didn't attack, I just went out and back in. I didn't have any penalty. Most of the time where they would disqualify you is if you use that yellow line, not for safety issues, but if you use it to an advantage. Let's say that this guy in yellow here, I want to pass him and I don't have enough room, but I cross the yellow line and I cross back in front of him, then that would take a penalty for me. They will come from the back, the motorcycle, and it will tell me to go back. In this case, I'm still inside, so I was able to pass free and clear, and now we're getting close to the corner. So when we get it, we're going to pass the finish line, and we're going to go to the last lap. And then we did 6 laps on this race. So I got this video from and then we got one more lap. So now you're gonna see here now when we get to the corner. Oh, 2 kilometers to go, guys. I was gonna say about the corner, but I didn't have it on video. So we are 2 kilometers to go. Look at the group in front of me, and this is what is happening. We're not supposed to take that yellow line. Everyone on the left side right here is not supposed to be there. So look at the motorcycle. You can hear that motorcycle screaming because they need to be inside the line. But how are you gonna stop a group of hungry people that they all want to sprint. Motorcycle is he's doing his best. He's trying his best. People are kind of like coming back to the line for a second, and they stop listening to the motorcycle, and they start jumping back to the other side of the line. And this is something that I would love to have the representatives of the race team and judges to see it. I think it's going to be safer if they allow to take the road for, instead of like 500 meters, to take it for like 3 kilometers to go, 2 kilometers to go, and take like a clean whole road, because in that case you're gonna have less chances of an accident. Because look at right now, they're not supposed to do that again, but they're doing it anyways, and it's more safer that if everyone is compact on that. As a matter of fact, since the wind is coming from the right, everyone is kind of like jumping to the left, and they're not supposed to be on the left right now, guys. So we're going top of the hill, 1 kilometer to go. We're not even supposed to be on the left side yet, so everyone is going for it. We're going top of this hill, then down the hill. A lot of people burn themselves going up this hill, but that's it. This is the end of the race. So we got the sprinter coming up at the front. We got the motorcycle. He did his best for sure. Pretty good referee or Josh. He's one of the good ones. So people are already whoever did the lead out, or people that disconnect from the group, they're already going pretty easy. And this is it. This is the end of my race for Saturday. I still passing people. Right now, right here, you are allowed to get that side of the yellow line. So thank you guys for watching. Once again, this was a quick race. It was more for the sponsors, to thank the sponsors, and just to keep some memories alive of what we did. Dennis got third place. We have a lot of fun, and we can wait until next year. So now it's time for gravel.